Deep within the annals of history, amidst the golden sands of ancient Egypt, a tale of destiny, defiance, and divine intervention unfolds. Welcome, dear viewers, to Epic Tales from History. Today we journey back in time to discover the incredible story of Moses, a man chosen by destiny. In the heart of ancient Egypt, where pharaohs ruled and pyramids touched the skies, a dark decree cast a shadow over the Hebrews. Every newborn Hebrew boy was destined for tragedy. Yet in this darkness, hope emerged. The gentle flow of the Nile concealed a secret, a tiny basket within which lay not just a baby, but the hopes of an entire people. This was Moses. Fate, or perhaps divine intervention, led this Hebrew child into the arms of an Egyptian princess. Raised amidst the grandeur of the empire, Moses grew surrounded by power and privilege. Yet the anguished cries of his people, the Hebrews, resonated within him. A pivotal moment arrived when those cries became impossible to ignore. An act of compassion, a surge of anger, and Moses' world changed forever. Defending a Hebrew, he confronted an Egyptian, leading to dire consequences. With the vastness of Egypt now a perilous terrain, Moses sought refuge in the distant land of Midian. In Midian, by a well's edge, Moses' sense of justice shone once more as he defended shepherdesses from harassers. This act of valor earned him the gratitude and hospitality of Jethro, a priest of Midian. In this land of peace, Moses found love with Zipporah, Jethro's daughter, and began a new chapter of his life. Yet, destiny wasn't done with him. A seemingly ordinary day brought with it an extraordinary sight. A bush, ablaze yet unscathed. From this divine spectacle, God's voice emerged, bestowing upon Moses a mission of monumental proportions. The liberation of the Israelites from the clutches of Egyptian tyranny awaited. As Moses grappled with the weight of this divine directive, doubts and fears surfaced. Was he worthy? Was he capable? Yet with God's unwavering reassurance and a miraculous staff, Moses prepared to embark on a journey back to Egypt, setting the stage for events that would forever change the course of history. Back in the heart of Egypt, Moses, now armed with divine purpose, was met with a daunting challenge. The Pharaoh, ruler of the vast Egyptian empire, was not one to be easily swayed. Alongside his brother Aaron, Moses approached the royal court with a simple yet profound demand: "Let my people go." But Pharaoh's heart was a fortress, impervious to pleas and defiant against threats. Each refusal brought with it divine retribution. Egypt, the jewel of the ancient world, was besieged by a series of plagues. The waters of the Nile turned to blood, a crimson testament to the Pharaoh's obstinacy. Frogs swarmed the land, followed by lice and swarms of flies. Yet, the Pharaoh's heart remained unyielding. As the plagues intensified, so did the suffering of the Egyptian people. Livestock perished. Boils afflicted the masses, and locusts devoured the crops. The skies darkened, casting a shadow not just over the land, but over the spirits of its inhabitants. Still, Pharaoh's pride stood tall, his refusal unwavering. It was the final, most devastating plague that broke the Pharaoh's resolve. The death of every Egyptian firstborn. A sorrow so profound, it echoed through the annals of time. The Israelites, guided by Moses, marked their doors with lamb's blood, a divine sign that shielded them from this grievous fate. With a heavy heart, Pharaoh finally relented. The Israelites, after generations of bondage, were free at last. As they left the confines of Egypt, they carried with them not just their belongings, but the hopes and dreams of a promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Yet the journey ahead was fraught with challenges. Behind them, the might of the Egyptian army loomed, and ahead the vast expanse of the desert awaited. But with Moses as their guide, and God as their protector, the Israelites ventured forth, marking the beginning of an exodus that would become legendary. As they journeyed, the Red Sea posed a formidable barrier. With the Egyptian army in pursuit, it seemed as though all hope was lost. But in a moment of divine intervention, Moses, with outstretched arms, parted the waters. The Israelites crossed on dry ground, a path of salvation amidst the towering walls of water. When the Egyptians attempted to follow, the waters returned, sealing their fate. The Israelites' journey had only just begun, and the wilderness of Sinai lay ahead. But with each step, their faith and determination grew, forging a bond with God that would shape the destiny of an entire nation. Emerging from the miraculous escape at the Red Sea, the Israelites found themselves in the vast wilderness of Sinai. This barren expanse, while a refuge from Egyptian pursuit, presented its own set of challenges. Food and water were scarce, and the journey was arduous. As days turned into weeks, the initial euphoria of freedom began to wane. The hardships of the desert took a toll on the spirits of the Israelites. Doubts and complaints arose among the people. They reminisced about the relative security of Egypt, even if it meant bondage. The challenges of freedom seemed overwhelming in comparison to the known hardships of slavery. Moses, as their leader, bore the brunt of their frustrations. Yet, in these trying times, divine interventions continued to guide and sustain the Israelites. When they thirsted, Moses struck a rock at Horeb with his staff, and water gushed forth. When they hungered, God provided manna, a mysterious bread-like substance that appeared with the dawn and sustained them. However, physical sustenance wasn't the only challenge. The spiritual and moral fabric of this newly liberated community needed structure. At Mount Sinai, a pivotal moment in the history of the Israelites occurred. Moses ascended the mountain and communed with God. After 40 days and nights, he descended with the 10 Commandments, a set of divine laws that would form the foundation of their society and faith. These commandments, engraved on stone tablets, encompassed fundamental principles of morality and worship. They were not just rules, but a covenant between God and the Israelites. By adhering to these commandments, the Israelites pledged their loyalty and devotion to God. Yet during Moses' absence on Mount Sinai, doubt crept into the hearts of the Israelites. In a moment of collective lapse, they fashioned a golden calf and began to worship it. This act of idolatry was a stark deviation from the commandments Moses was receiving. When he returned and witnessed this, his anger was palpable. The tablets were shattered, symbolizing the broken covenant. Moses, in his anguish, pleaded with God for mercy on behalf of the Israelites. Recognizing their transgression, the people repented. Moses then ascended Mount Sinai once more, receiving a new set of tablets. This reaffirmed the bond between God and the Israelites. The journey continued, with the ultimate destination being the Promised Land. Along the way, the Israelites faced numerous trials, from confrontations with other tribes to internal disputes. Yet with the guidance of the commandments and the leadership of Moses, they persevered, ever hopeful of reaching a land where they could be truly free and live in harmony with their faith. The story of Moses and the Israelites is not just a tale of liberation and journey, but also a testament to faith, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. The journey of the Israelites, though marked by divine interventions, was not without its challenges. As they neared the Promised Land, spies were sent ahead to scout the territory. The reports they brought back were mixed. While the land was indeed flowing with milk and honey, it was also inhabited by formidable tribes. The news disheartened many among the Israelites, and fear began to spread. Moses, however, remained steadfast in his faith. He reminded the people of the numerous trials they had overcome with God's guidance. Yet the collective doubt of the people had consequences. God decreed that the current generation of Israelites, save for a few like Joshua and Caleb, who had remained loyal in their faith, would not enter the Promised Land. Instead, they would wander the desert for 40 years until a new generation, untainted by the memories of Egyptian bondage, arose. During these years of wandering, Moses continued to guide and govern the people. He established a system of laws and rituals, many of which are detailed in the books of Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. These laws went beyond the 10 Commandments, covering various aspects of daily life, societal order, and religious observance. As the years passed, the older generation, including Moses, began to fade. Moses, aware that he would not enter the Promised Land, climbed Mount Nebo. From its peak, he gazed upon the land that the Israelites would soon call home. It was a bittersweet moment, filled with pride in the journey completed and sorrow for the destination unreached. Moses passed away on that mountain, leaving behind a legacy that would shape the course of history. Under the leadership of Joshua, the Israelites would go on to conquer and settle in the Promised Land. But the memory of Moses, the man who had led them out of bondage, delivered God's laws, and guided them through the wilderness, would forever remain etched in their hearts. And so, dear viewers, we conclude the epic tale of Moses, a story of faith, leadership, and divine purpose. His life serves as a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity and the profound bond between God and his people. If this tale has inspired you as much as it has inspired generations, please like, share, and subscribe for more such stories from the annals of history. Until next time, journey on in the quest for knowledge and inspiration.